Recording. Because we're going to share later what's going to happen today with the guys, right? So, what will happen today? What will happen today is that we are publicly communicating that a basic course on a tool has been developed. The basic course of this tool was run. It was applied and the result seems to have been better than expected, because where there were 8 classes, it was possible to do it in 6 classes, without loss of content. We optimized the production of academic content and the way of representing, and because of this, and the way of conducting the study, participants, for nothing, I don't know why, decided to arrange everything that is spoken, presented, in a written way. Tacit knowledge is now explicit, so the class made evaluation protocols, wrote procedures, so we already have material that adds to the original idea. So, today's event, which we are recording to record as public, is that the basic course of a management support tool, at the request of a large group of planners and controllers, has been completed and implemented. And we already have some results. From this, the idea today is to tell what was added in this course, and that already allows anyone to enter the course, take the training, and even guarantee proof of training, a validated proof. It is not a proof where the computer says, click here and print your certificate. That and nothing is the same. That's why I'm saying, I was commenting before when we entered the meeting, that and this whole result is much more of a benefit than a purchase order, including the course. It's free. It is available on the channels, which are free. There is nothing you have to pay to be able to participate in the training and, from what we have seen, guarantee learning. Competence. So, based on this, the idea today is to say that the course is ready, it is validated, and it has an unforeseen added value, which will be presented by the participants. It's Adam Milton, Birakai and Mariano, and Marcio is bobbed down, but I've already said that he agrees with everything the 3 say. So, be careful what you say so as not to compromise Marcio. Basically that's it. Whoever arrives, I'll release access here. So, keep the momentum with you there.
Well, I think that in the sequence that we had already put together, I'm the first to speak, right? After Marcos. I wanted to talk a little bit about what it adds, what the project course adds, what the differentials of this course are. The basic MES project course, in addition to presenting in a well-elucidated way what are the resources that the tool brings to planners, also has an implicit content, which are the productivity management and resource management tools, which this will enable the participants. It is a differential course, because it is a short course and it is a low investment course. So, as Marcio explained, it is a free course that will be available on free platforms and that in the market today does not have a modulation presentation, or anything similar. It is a course that will present an in-depth management tool and work on a concept that is very widespread in project generation. In project management, it is the concept that time is money, and money is time. So, what the tool provides in terms of immediate and practical analysis for decision-making, the student who takes this course, within the 6-week proposal, will be able to develop, in this tool, a basic planning, just as it is proposed.
I'm going to interrupt Adam Milton. He said low investment. He and I said that time is money, right? I would say the following. It is good to remember, and those who are going to continue may even have an accident. Time is money. The low investment of money. Anyone has money, can even have borrowed. But the time you spent on this course, could it be less? Because time is money. So, the low investment, I understood that it is free. And the weather? Then I leave it to you.
Beauty. Good night. Following the script here, I'm going to speak for the second, right? About the issue of the manual, the guide, the way it was born, that's how she finished the course.
People.
There was a conversation, we went with Marcos and Mariano joined the team, asked who was willing to participate. And then, we agreed. The waiter, he was not available, he had others to do, but in the course, he contributed a lot, we changed the training. That's one of the things that's in the guide. We need to give up our time. In the point of enrolling in the course and not having the desire to take the time to study, we have time to be able to study. I see as a great differential of the course this issue of having that schedule as if it were an academic schedule. Our meetings are scheduled, as if it were academic schedule, and we have the time of our resolution, and after this time of resolution, of the execution of the exercise. We still need to evaluate the exercises of our teammates, and this is a dynamic that we have to follow for the course to work, and it's one of the validations of the course, every week they're punctually watching the video after video follow with the exercise and time. Until the delivery of the exercise, after that the time of the evaluation of the exercise, so it's no use like that the people enter I'm excited. If there is no detachment from this time it won't flow right. This is one of the parts that is in the guide, then Marcos will provide, suddenly a link. Something like that, for people to go in there and see. The page is already formed with the course and the guide is there. It's good for you to read it, see it first. This is one of the first themes that comes. Then, the package that the course composes, has a zip of the course, with all the information. There is the Spider installer, which is the desk plus 200, which is the question of 200 activities, up to 200 activities we can do. And it supports the exercises very well. The videos, which are already posted, are already in the right configuration. Procedure, the protocols that we have to use to be able to evaluate the exercises of our teammates, right? And in the end, following all the step by step, the certificate, right? Let's go. I'm going to read a piece from here, right? What was written in the guide? What is the guide? This guide does not serve as a tool to help establish the essential requirements for the basic project management course using the SPIDER project, other than to define the basic requirements to implement the methodology and teaching proposed to the criterion of evaluation and certification of the students. Any change in the recommendations established herein may compromise the proposed methodology. The knowledge gained in this course is the basis for the next levels of specifications. Therefore, we encourage you to follow them as faithfully as possible. That's what I was talking about earlier. To work, you have to follow the step-by-step that is in the manual. There is a minimum amount of people that we need to have a quorum to be able to have this issue of evaluations and the detachment of time. Basically, that's it. I advise the people who are participating, then take a look at the link, go to this manual in the guide, read the guide, okay? It's very interesting. There will be the question of computer configuration, the requirements and the step-by-step process to be followed, okay? That's pretty much it. Mariano, I'll let you talk a little bit there.
Nice. Good evening everyone. Just add Virasi's speech there, who spoke very completely. The only thing missing was the part. There is an administrative part of the course, which is a part that is dealt with on the outside, right? Outside of the assistance of the animals, there is communication between the group of colleagues, where they can support each other and try to understand some speech or some concept, perhaps new, that will happen. It happened to me, it happened to Virasi, we exchanged ideas, a little chip on the outside, right? There is a group there too. Sometimes Marcos encourages us to try to do it first, burn all possible chips and then seek help, and this is part of a course project, of studying a course in volleyball. Coming to the last part, then, which was my subject, the certificate validation part, it is a simple validation. We do not seek to complicate this phase. What we have as a practice is always to document, so the idea of certificate validation is a documentary process, where we need to keep in an organized way those files that make up the production of the exercises and the application of the evaluations, both those received and those offered to colleagues, which will serve for them to be able to validate their own projects. So that's it. This is this one. This combination of documents must be saved for the future. If someone needs some proof, you have all the complete material of the trail constantly traveled in the guide. In the last part, this little speech that I just gave where it gives these basic tips, keeps the documents, the SPIDER documents, an important thing. They have an internal editorial track, where we can check the dates, where each activity was carried out. So it's already a strong document, SPIDER's own document. In addition to these protocols, they have, well, when I save the protocol and save it in a PDF format, it already saves a creation date where it is already sufficient. So for us to validate that the trail was concise, I still make a comment on the guide, which was the last part. That I added their respect from. I lost here. I lost my speech here. There is no rigid schedule. We suggest doing 6 weeks, but it can be less, depending on the study group, or more. To be able to document this to be together with the proven trail of data in the archives. Basically that. Thank you. Hey, Mark.
I'm going to take what Brazil said. Brazil said something that is very important. Just as time is money, it is necessary to have discipline. Hi, Adriano. It is necessary to have discipline. If you don't have discipline in studying, and if you don't have discipline at work, the reports won't come out on time. You'll say you're late. Well, but discipline is part of the methodology. And today, with the history of distance learning, of virtual meetings, it seems that everything is an ober. It seems that everything I give my way, and it is not like that. Distance learning, they have flexibility. The methodology of distance learning, which I have been following since 2006, is flexibility, not zone. So, there are delivery dates, deadlines. So, what I wanted to highlight here about Miracelius, you have to have discipline. If you don't have time, there's no problem. You don't do the training. If you don't have time, there's no problem. You don't go home. If you don't have time, you don't take a shower. You need to know if you can do the thing or not. If you have time, I always see. People have time to work overtime without being paid. But people don't have time to do something that they have already programmed, and Mariano talked about certificates. I wrote it down here. The interaction makes Mariano see Paulo's work. Then Mariano is gluing. There is no glue. This is for those who are perhaps in elementary school. I don't know. At the age we are at the job we are in. If we don't talk and look for what the other did so as not to make mistakes again. It's not glue. It is improvement. This is called learning. It's constructionism. It's constructivism. The thing is a thing. It works that way. And when Mariano was certified, it's a reflection here. I took the B-Tool course at IUDEMI. And when I finished answering multiple choices, the computer said that I know Tool B. I press the button and it comes like this. I certify that Mark received, finished the course of Tool B. Pay attention, who taught that? Not the certification process proposed in this and our courses, but in this is a model that already works. Your certificate is signed by those who have participated in your course. And who participated in his course was not Marcos, an academic, who has never worked in his life, who studied this in the FGV prep course. Who signed his certificate is a guy who has been working for more than 10 years on site, or who has been working with planning for more than 8 years and who knows what he is talking about, and as he did not invent or was subjective, he validated it, and when he signs his name. Whoever received the certificate will look if someone wants to show it one day. They will look, so Lucas was evaluated by Jorge. I know Jorge. Jorge is not the one. Saw? I know Jorge. Don't you have 4 people? All of a sudden? I know I don't know, no. But it's written here. Jorge, civil engineer, 17 years of planning. It's written. In one line. Who validated my learning was Jorge, with 17 years of work planning service. I don't know what's written there. No. It's Marcos, a graduate of FGV's Tweety course, who has never set foot on the construction site and only wears a clean white helmet. That's not it. So, we have a model that is much more solid than you printing a beautiful certificate with elaborate frames on your own computer, on your own printer. Who signs this? The work also with NR10 training, which is occupational safety, work in electrical installations, is life-threatening. The guy who signs the certificate is an electrical engineer, an occupational safety engineer, and is an occupational safety doctor. There are 3 signatures. If not, it's not worth it. And if the guy has an accident, believe me that it is possible to trace who signed the certificate saying that Paolo is able to work there. That's it. It was proof that Paolo has a course. I've already done an audit, participated in an expert opinion, where an employee of an elevator company, had an accident, nothing very serious, and told the labor inspectorate that his certificate was only 8 hours old instead of 40, and that he signed it before taking the course. That is, do you see how it is possible for you to issue a certificate? So what Mariano said about the certificate is a certificate that has traceability and that you can see who signed it. It has a name. It has the kind of experience. So, adding that time is money, that is, I need to have time. If I had a lot of money, I would pay someone to do it for me. If I had a lot of money, I would pay someone to do it for me. But then I don't have that routine and that dedication that Biracia talked about. And the certificate that Mariano will present is printed on the computer. Well, basically that's what I wanted to close, right? And someone said like this, after the basic course is over. Well, after you finish first grade. The name is first degree, I think, right? You go to high school. After you finish high school, you can work. Or you can go to do the third degree. After you finish the third degree, you will do a doctorate, master's, I don't know, postgraduate. So, once you acquire basic knowledge, you are able to do a lot. Then you want to specialize or dedicate yourself to time planning, deadlines, productivity, then I'll see that there. No, I want to do an evaluation, financial and economic cost analysis, then I go to the other line. This tool allows for that. So, if you want, as Mariana calls it a lot, trail. Trail of what? Of knowledge. Right. Knowledge trail. So, you can later. This is not for the spider tool, no. It is for any tool, for any course, or for any learning process. You can evolve. But the important thing is that you have to have a basic one, and the basic school and the elementary school have to be good. If you're not good, you go to college without knowing how to write. Well, I've said too much. We're in the 25 minutes of the event. The rest was so that people from outside could ask, talk, or complete this record. We are registering this because it will be released to anyone who wants to do it. Sure. We then have, without running away, Paolo, Lucas and Adria. Adria, say something.
Hi, good night, how are you? I'm new here in the community. My first class.
Your first lesson of what?
With you.
Today is not the course. Today we are counting and the class happened, it worked. You can even, since you want to take the course, which is free, right, in the future when we release it, tomorrow, when we release the link, you can already ask these people how the course works, which has just arrived, right, didn't listen to the beginning, but it is recorded, you can see it later. Let's see if Lucas and Paolo have anything. Then we'll come back to you.
Marcos, I'll talk then, right? Are you catching? I invited Adri, right? We are company mates and we are looking forward to taking the course, right? In this case, after the group of 5 is formed, the course can be started, or there is a choir, which is the minimum limit. I believe you had said 5, but I am not fully aware of it.
When we say 5, I would say it's multiples of 5. Why multiples of 5 or 5? Because the process of validating what you've done is done by your peers. And we need to have 4, because you are evaluated by 3. Isn't that it, people? It is rated by 3, but wait, if we have 5, there are 4. Yes, 3 will rate you. Another 3, well, it's worth it. And then, the totally random combinatorial analysis that you combined is what ensures that 3 will. Why are there 3, Paul? It's because when you do something and make a mistake, you don't know you've made a mistake. Because if you knew you made a mistake, you wouldn't have made a mistake. So 3. Even more than on planet Earth, these 3 are very good at criticizing. On planet Earth, people are excellent at criticizing, so when Adrian looks at hers, she may have done what was all wrong, but when she looks at hers, it quiets Paolo. It is not in accordance with the request, it is a feedback, and then how is that not verbal? And then the rules are clear. Right. This is not verbal. This is not personal. I'm not talking about Paolo. I'm saying that these 40 lines, 2 are not blue. I didn't say, Paolo, you crazy person, you didn't paint it. No, I didn't say that. I said it. Of the 40 lines, 2 are not blue, and it's written here that all the lines have to be blue. It's written. Paolo, don't you know how to read? No, I'm not going to put that in my assessment. I'm just going to say, there isn't. Look, there isn't. Then Paolo tells, there isn't. Then Paolo tells, and man, this one is not yours. I didn't say anything, I just said, they didn't answer the item. It's an item, a checklist. This makes you exercise technical criticism. This stops you from being a pawn. A pawn is the one who does the exercise and becomes the boss. And then you outsource the work, receive a job that you are able to evaluate. So, you are in a training process where you are not a student, a pawn, a toolmaker. You are able to look and make an analysis. You have brains, right? You are not an AI. You're better than an AI. You take a look and you conclude that this blue here is kind of dark. It's not quite blue, light. But in the requirement it said blue. So it passed. Well, Mayor would say no. This RGB shade of blue doesn't match the RGB shade of blue on the checklist. So that's why, Paul, answering your question, I have only one sentence. 5. Because of the cross-evaluation process. I see. That was it. Anyone else? Something?
I just wanted to congratulate this organization and also say that I'm excited to learn Spider since Marcos Pozzi mentioned it when I took the NS project course. He had never heard of the tool, but I know it sounds pretty amazing, right?
Sometimes it's hard to believe what it can do when we see other tools doing so little. I mean, so little because I don't know, or so little because she doesn't do it. There are two variables there. There are people who are masters of the project tool, but they don't know some very basic things. So, it's not just a tool that we're going to criticize. You have to criticize those who taught. But who taught this creature? What entity taught this creature? Was it Udemy? Was it the other channel of 20 Reais courses? But, Lucas, now it's a bit of a crazy shot, because I sell courses and training for the company. Then Paolo comes, calls Adria, calls me 3 more, sets up a group, does all the training, and I can't sell to his company. Why? Because they learned. So, there are other ways to make money. Of course, I can kidnap Paulo. But anyway, today we are in a technology, we are in a position to study easily and only look for what I don't understand. Why am I going to pay for something I can read? And I'm going to look for what I don't understand. It is a specialization in something that, to read, would take a long time. Adamilton raised his hand and I stopped talking. Speak up, Adamilton. I wanted to take advantage of Lucas' speech.
To complement some information. Sometimes we take project courses, springtime, and then it takes us a long time to learn because little of the tool, who taught you the course, is not focused on project management in fact. It is not focused on project management in fact, and then it teaches you. A lot of resources that you never use. And then, this is a differential of the basic Spider course, because the course, in addition to being short and free, will give you practical content. So, at the end of the training, you will take home the planning you carried out and not just what you absorbed from the class and the concepts that were presented. This is a differential that we don't see in the market in other courses.
Lucas has already said. Adria is still floating in this whole story, right? She was called by Paulo. She fell into this here and was even deceived. Paulo said it was the first class of the course. Look, there are people who do things. Huh? Oh. Well, the idea is, can I take the course on my own? Can. You can, because then I'll learn something. I'm going to try. It's going to come out. It's not going to come out. But since there's no one to talk to, I can get Lucas's contacts, from I don't know, from João and ask, or join a planning group and ask specifically for something. But when you read, when you listen, you retain the knowledge. When you read and do exercises, you have another retention of knowledge. When you read, do exercises, and critique work of the same kind, you have another level of knowledge retention. And look, without exchange, you end up being alone in yourself and even declare that you are an expert in, without ever having actually used all the resources or properly used the resources that the tools or techniques give you. I had been practicing this type of methodology for a while. Lucas, in your projects course, which I no longer remember, how many were in the class? There were 5. Was there cross-validation or was it just by the tutor? It was only for the tutor. The tutor, when he validates, he is worth 5. Why? Because he has a very large knowledge, much more than necessary for that course. And the tutor corrects, validates, dozens of exercises of this type. So, everything that is a possible mistake, he has already seen. So, it's as if he dies for 5 people evaluating you. People who are not specialized. But it is the non-specialization of each one that makes the group's capacity. And the group helps itself as if it were a company. Paulo and Adria are working. So, Paulo, how do I do that anyway? Am I going to do it? Adria, give it. Do it like this. Because Ada remembers that, Paulo won't remember that. It is the set of particular memories of each component that will allow you, Talking. This is not glue. This is group work. Well, so based on that, and we still have some time, unless there are big statements, and I don't have anything else to publish for the planet, because this video is going to be published and the whole planet will be able to see it. And according to Elon Musk, even Mars could connect and watch this video. I don't know if there's anyone there to watch. On the net. Do you know what it is? What's the name of the guy's network? Starlink. Starlink, yes. Starlink. Say a little bit.
Can you share, Mark, the course page? Just so you can see.
It's muted, Marcos.
I can do it like this. Send the link through the chat, because I closed all the windows here so as not to overload. Do you want us to act there?
You.
Wait, I'm going. Oh, I can get in by phone. Wait. Here. They're on the phone. Here. We're going to publish this, see? It would be tomorrow, right?
Wait a minute, I think I've already copied it here. Put it here in the group, you can put it here. You can put it in the chat. Already put.
Put it in the video chat. Wait. It's in the chat already. Have you put it? Okay. So I'm going to share the screen to show you. For you I say it's flat. Paolo, Lucas and Adriano. Torquato. That kind of strange name, Torquato. Window. By clicking here. I'm going to grab the full screen. Full screen. Okay. It's going to be mirrored and I'm going to click here. See if you're seeing anything there. A moment. I'm going to click on the boys link. Okay, now go. Arriving at the course page. This is part of a larger project. This is the first Spider course. So, you have an introduction, which will be replaced by this introduction that we are making. There are classes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So basically lesson 1 is application installation and project scope structure development. In class 2, you have body data, you have how I produce, the activities that produce each part of the project, and the sequence of production and the characteristics of the activities. Where we intend to talk, in lesson 3, you generate a work plan in time, which is called schedule, and find some characteristics of the schedule and put the registered resources. It puts the resources because it is the resources that will produce the work. Both material, people, and money. After you have the schedule for time, you now have the schedule for the use of labor, materials, money. And you can show this in tabular form and in graphical form, histogram. So we have an organizational chart, schedule, histogram, and then there's the dashboard, a panel of indicators, and then we start putting this information from the computer on the web, So everyone can see it, within restrictions, within passwords and scrolls, everyone can see, you see the schedule as soon as possible, like. We will be able to optimize the world. So today we will have information from the 4th class and the 5th class. Without fear of what was planned, we will have the 4th class, a part of the 5th and the 5th with maintenance. That I have. If you work here, you use the method. If you work here, you use another method. And then you can get there or by another method, because I use the flow of incoming and outgoing material, and the flow of incoming and outgoing money. I believe that most of you work with loans, with little money, but if you work with a lot of money and a lot of resources, you can use the method first here. Then after that, you are planned, you have it done. And when you order it to be done, the people who are doing it always do drugs. So, you collect the information and put it into your plan that has been executed. So, if you put it within your plan that was executed, you will possibly see that it is deposited in the project version 1001. Versus planning. Different. The 1000 deviate in linear series. Usually it is for less. The 1000 and 1000 is the touch of issuance and analysis of what is happening. In the last class, you, based on the intro came out, fulfilled the forecast, you can do an analysis, remove the spelling error, visualize the other transgenders, I will add more down, performance indicator, and from that you take adjustment measures, compensation measures. So you see the planning and you see the process of controlling what you've entered here. I have 2 skills, but it's not the only one to recover resources. Here they are. I think I ended up talking about making the graphic variation of everything you plan to justify and commit medical resources, which was planned through a previous, after, where I don't know. Here. After that, you can extend it. From this thing here, you do or specializations. From the program, you make another one. From the resources, you make other evaluations. Money, control. And then you work on either the project or the portfolio. Then you, at the end of the course, learn that you, like any teaching or education activity, can continue your studies by going to areas that are of interest to you. When you're in elementary school, you have to study what I told you. When you are in professional life and adult, you study what you need. So you know how to study and you know what you need to study. It's called a pedagogic process. You choose your career. You choose your training. You choose your deepening or you choose the size you're going to do because you already have the condition, the judgment to decide about it. Here on this course page, there is the study guide here. If you click here, you will probably go to the study guide. Want to see? And here you see him. Let me see. Practical guide. There's a cute drawing. There's a presentation. Blah, blah, blah. There's another presentation. Blah, blah, blah. And here's what you have to do. What you use. Here you'll have the name of who was the author of this guide. This work here. And then you have all the Process of how I do this in my life. Here is information. This course is part of a larger movement, where other free training will exist. Maybe of technique, maybe of tool, maybe of other things. Here you access AI. What is AI? Who doesn't know what AI is? Is that mentor, agent, that famous, free one, who does everything and will dominate the world with Skynet. You, in this tool, can write what it is, how I do it here, how I create a WBS in Spider. Theoretically, he will tell you. If you didn't learn it in class, you can ask him about it. He will search in 20 specific books and will not search the web. He doesn't search the web. This agent is closed only on documents that have been validated by the team. Because on the web there is so much written that it is not true that we did not stop looking. So much so that then I want detail of this, detail of that. This is an AI dedicated to the course. I know the author. I think the author is me. Let me see. It's me. I think it's me. The priest's module is me. Me, cute here. Here you have contact and you have. So, that, you have the entire course page here. Something is missing that will be. Where is everyone I lost? I have to introduce everyone and stop sharing. Why do I stop sharing? Ready. We are back to normal.
Just add the comment that within this meeting we have 3 people who managed to take the course, so you can do it. It's not deception, it's really a witness. We even published a cute mask that Marcos provided us. I think it's a good idea to also be able to make it available as part of the incentive, that mask of me being able to do it. I can do it and such. I think it's cool. Nowadays everything has to be Instagrammable, so I think it's part of it, it's part of the achievement, right? Because this course is free, but it has value, right? And the value comes from the student's effort in wanting to get the knowledge. I think this is what I took the most from this type of teaching, okay? So it gives us special satisfaction to finally be able to do the S-curve there in the last class and see that it varies, that it doesn't, how it varies, how to be proactive, as a manager and everything else. I think it's very cool. That was the last message I wanted to send.
Mariano spoke of a figure. When I put together this figure, I copied it from the Kona GP people who had this idea, which was a very good idea, which goes viral. It's free advertising. Lucas is going to take a picture of himself, because he thinks it's beautiful. I'll put it there. So he advertises the business. Now, the tagline is, I've completed, comma, and I can prove it. I want to see you get someone who says they took the course of this, that, and that they can prove it. What do you mean to prove it? It is not proving with a document, no, a certificate. It's just that if you put it in my hand now, I'll do it. People who do training, at least in our line of action, so, when the guy finishes, he can do it, he does it. We also do engineering as well. So, building inspection, which is the thing that happened a lot here in Rio, building inspection. The student of the building inspection course would spend like 3 weeks in the room and spend a month working in a commercial building with 100 commercial rooms. Inspecting 100 rooms is in a group, right? Making report, making adaptation plan, correction plan and doing an R&T. So the guy didn't sit in the room listening to the academics zucchini, blah, blah, blah. He just did it. He goes into a building. If he has to use IPA and he does. If he doesn't have it, he doesn't use it. The guy has to produce it, and when he produces it he makes a report, and when he delivers the report he does an R&T. If it's wrong, he'll go to jail, he'll be prosecuted. So, I can prove it. How can you prove it? Here. I have an RTE of the service I did. In this course, if the participants who are engineers, if the participants who are technicians sign Paolo's certificate and who signed the workshop are multiple art, the certificate will be registered with the Regional Council of Engineering and the Federal Council of Engineering of the country. So you can go there on the website, look for my name. You will find an art that says that you trained Paolo. From time to time, it carries the certificate. Everything is written. So the paper certificate that they signed, which goes on the registered certificate. There is only one institution that does this. It is the MEC, which registers diplomas there. Apart from the MEC, we are registering all the certificates that we issue, that when I sign, if it is engineering, of course, right? I do R&D, and if you noticed, our planning training has a history of work, it has a history of mobilization, it has engineering. And the engineer can, and the second-degree technician can train, design, inspect, even train. So, it is validated. It's strange, because no one has ever thought about it before. I'll explain. Because those who give training are not engineers. He doesn't know what a work is, but he gives work training. It's weird, isn't it, Max? We live to learn. Well, I said it too much again. The one who is not saying anything is Adrian. People.
I'm just listening, see? I have a lot of knowledge to add.
Lots of talk for you to listen to. Well, having nothing else, we can conclude. I've already shown the site too, right? Let me see. I've already shown you the site. There is a short film on LinkedIn that shows what the students produced. Which is a lot, I think, right? Speak up, Birakai.
Piggybacking on what Mariano said, how did I get to the course? I came through LinkedIn, where the Spider project existed, and then I fell into the group where Peter's course is now allocated. And with a conversation with Peter he talked about a conversation with Marcos. But there are books, take a look at the book, and I looked at the book, I saw that there was the course, I signed up for the course, I worked on putting Dropbox, my Dropbox was a different one, Marco helped me put the correct Dropbox. Right. And then there was a statement that caught my attention that I already had. I don't know if it was you Demilto or if it was Lucas or Tamara who had already started taking the course, and then it scared me. At first it scared me a little. I said damn it, there is no time, the course is a little difficult. I said damn it, but I'll go to the end. And like, if you dedicate yourself, man, you see that you can do it, but you need to dedicate yourself, okay? It's no use if you leave a meter to let something happen, which will hinder the progress of the course, you won't be able to follow it later. It's no use recovering this time there and the team's progress, right? Because she goes together, right? It's as if it were them sparring, everyone is there, together. One is left behind, it's difficult after recovering that time. So, everyone has to be in one unit.
An interesting thing. I said there are 5, you know. And Mariano said, those who are here have concluded. There was one of the 5 in that class who had problems with work, time. And then he disappeared. And the work was still maintained because 3 correct one. Do you understand why I said 5 from the beginning? Because there is a probability that I'm going to guess here totally unfounded of 25%. Look, I made up this number that made 1 go away. And then 3 corrects in 1. Of course, this number I mentioned is totally random, but it's nice to talk about Fantastico, to talk about a CNN report. 25% end up not being able to conclude, and then the set is maintained. There are alternatives when one more disappears, you know? The technique has already evolved for that. So, guys, tomorrow the pointer for you to have access to everything should appear on LinkedIn. And then Lucas says, but can I do it alone? You can do it yourself. That no one knows. You need to register. Every time you enter the course, you make a personal record. Luke. Ah, but there are 4 more. Yes, but he filled in Lucas. No one is going to pull a police to arrest Lucas. Then Lucas downloaded the material and he will see. Says Mariano. Hey.
I would also like to leave a message that the course is ours, that is, it admits improvements, and so everyone who will follow the course, he has the right to be able to pass on to us any improvement, both in the guide, in the course, as well as in the explanation, as well as in the increase of information. That it is necessary for this course to be better and for it to evolve and reach more people also with high quality. I was missing this subject there, which is a course, in this case, open, right, or semi-open, which admits this, and we are ready to receive feedback. Sometimes the writing, I'm Argentine, so, like, the writing, some parts of me that I wrote in the guide may be a little strange, we accept it. Then the criticisms, corrections and everything else, it's okay.
Look, I wrote it down here. I wrote it down here. This creature, going back a minute to finish, this creature speaks with a non-Brazilian accent and uses the word tips. He has tips. This creature is really multilingual. There is it in his speech. Well, it's 9 o'clock sharp. Say goodbye to everyone. Say goodbye, and it comes out that I'm the last. I close everything.